If you tried budgeting before and it didn't stick, this is for you. I'm going to walk you through how to use our free spreadsheet that gets you down to just one number to pay attention to each week. My wife and I failed at budgeting for years. We tried everything. We even ended up in bankruptcy at one point. So when I say that this system is different, I'm not just saying that to sell you on it. It's the thing that actually worked for us after everything else didn't. So let's jump in and I'll show you how budgeting can be happier. When you open the spreadsheet, you'll be on this first tab called Period. This is just telling the spreadsheet when to start and how far to look into the future. Set your start date as today. Leave the weeks at 104. That's 2 years. And that's exactly what you want. With our system, we're looking ahead way more than just 1 month. And I'll show you why that's a good thing in just a little bit. We have people all over the world that use this spreadsheet. I'm going to leave it on the dollar, and then that's it. Tab 1 is done. The next tab is your income. And there's one thing on this tab that people miss all the time. Your bank balance right here at the top. Don't skip it. The spreadsheet uses that number as your starting point. So if it's wrong, everything else will be off. Just put in what you have in your checking account right now. You don't need to worry about savings or investments, just the money you're actually spending from. Below that, add your income sources. Set how often you get paid using the drop down. There's several options here. Enter your take-home pay after taxes and when you'll get paid next. If your income isn't the same every paycheck, guess low. If you make more than what you guess, that's a good problem to have. Guessing too high and coming up short is a much harder situation to deal with. The next tab takes a little more time, but you already know most of this. These are your bills. A rent or mortgage payment, utilities, insurance, subscriptions, anything that happens on a regular schedule goes here. You've got a section for monthly, one for yearly, one-time items, and then if you scroll over in here, in other, you've got options for all of the other frequencies here in the drop-down. Don't forget to add a line for savings if you can afford it. Put it in here like a bill. Even if it's a small amount, treating it as a fixed expense is the best way to make sure it actually happens consistently. Also, make sure you don't forget things that happen yearly, like Christmas or car registrations. When you add them in here, the spreadsheet will make sure that the money is ready when you need it. If you need to guess on something, guess high, the opposite of what you did with the income. If your electricity bill is anywhere between $80 and $130 a month, put in $130. When the real bill comes in lower, that's extra money for you. Once you have this all filled out, you've done the hardest part. These next tabs are what make this spreadsheet different from anything else you've tried. The first difference is that we're going to help you figure out one weekly number that covers all of your other expenses. We call it your happy money because you can choose how to spend it guilt-free, and the way you spend it can be totally different from week to week. There's no other categories or anything else to worry about. And instead of a month, we're shortening that to 1 week. I know that sounds too simple, but it works. The second difference you'll see is how we help you find that weekly number. We do that by forecasting everything you've entered day by day for the next 2 years. It's easier to see it visually on this next tab. This is the next 2 years all mapped out for you. Here you can see this spike where the chart goes up. That's where your income is going to happen. Then when it drops down, that's where one of your bills is getting paid. The spreadsheet took everything you entered and the timing and planned it all out. It's really cool to see. We're going to use this to make sure that the weekly allowance you choose is safe. So let me come back over to the Happy Money tab to show you how. Before we look at the number itself, you can choose a refill day right here. That's the day you get your allowance each week. Monday is an easy one to start with, since that's how most people think about their week. But you can pick any day that works for you. You'll see 3 checks in the bottom section down here. Your goal is to make your happy money right here as high as you can while keeping all 3 of those checks green. So right now it's at $400 a week. But if I type in 435, you can see that all of the checks turn red. So that's bad. Let me go over to the chart to show you why. You can see that it looks like I would be fine spending that much for the next several months. But here in December, this red means that when I need to pay a bill, the money isn't going to be there. And the overall trend is down because I'm generally spending too much. This is why the 2-year view is really helpful. It makes that trend more clear. So let's go back to the Happy Money tab and fix that. 400 is about as high as I can go before these checks start turning red. So I'm going to put it back to $400. It's okay if this number feels a little high at first. It has to cover everything that isn't a bill. Groceries, gas, eating out, clothes, and all the fun stuff too. You'll want to go back and forth between your fixed expenses and playing with this number so that you can find a balance that works for you. I can't tell you how much you should have for Happy Money each week, or how much you should be saving or using to pay down debt. You get to figure that out for yourself. This is just a tool to show you what you have to work with, and you get to decide what that looks like. As you figure out that balance, just keep pushing your Happy Money as high as it can go while keeping those 3 checks green. That's how you know every dollar is working, and that's how you know you're going to be okay. We have another tab here called Adjust Cash Flow. You probably won't need it. There's instructions at the top, and it shows you more of the day-to-day details about your forecast, but most people can skip this one. The last tab is Next Steps. Now that you have your Happy Money figured out, the next step is to track your spending against that number each week. That's where our free app comes in. It's on iOS and Android. The app is built to make tracking easy. If you're a Treetop donor, you can actually import this spreadsheet directly into the app and skip having to re-enter everything. If you're on the free version, you'll just have to type your numbers into the app by hand. Our other videos will walk you through setting up the app and using it day by day. Now let me answer some of the questions I hear all the time. These come from real people, so if you're wondering about any of these, you're not alone. First question, why are we looking 2 years ahead? My old budget only looked ahead 1 month at a time. That's actually one of the biggest reasons most budgets don't work. A month is just too short to be looking ahead. You forget about Christmas, car registrations, all of the things that happen once or twice a year, and those can completely blow up your monthly plan when they show up. By looking forward 2 years, the spreadsheet can see all of those things coming and build them into your weekly number automatically. You don't even have to think about them. When the bill comes up, the money will be there for it. There's another reason too. Looking 1 month ahead, you can't really see if you're slowly running out of money. 2 years shows you the real trend. That's one of the nice things about the cash flow chart. Next question, should gas go in fixed expenses, and what about groceries? Try putting them in your Happy Money first and see how it goes. Your weekly allowance is built for this kind of spending. Things where the amount isn't a set number and you buy it throughout the week. So you might buy groceries on Tuesday and Wednesday and on Saturday too, and they'll all be for different amounts. That's the kind of thing Happy Money was made for. If you find after a few weeks that it's not working for you, or that you really need the structure of having those as their own line items, go ahead and move them into fixed expenses. The system is flexible enough to work however you need it to. We had an issue just like this. All of the costs of owning a dog are expensive, and sometimes they all happen in the same week. That was just too much for our Happy Money to handle, so we eventually made it a fixed expense. There's no wrong answer. Start simple and adjust from there. Next question, how much should my Happy Money be? How much should I save? How much should I put toward debt? I can't answer any of those questions for you. What I can tell you is that this spreadsheet is showing you what you have to work with. You get to decide what to do with it. What happiness looks like for you and for your family is a personal choice. I spent over $1,000 at McDonald's one year when our kids were little and we were barely scraping by. That was our choice because it made our life more manageable at the time. I'm not going to judge you for how you spend your money, and you shouldn't judge yourself either, as long as it makes you happy. When you're trying to figure out that balance, use the Happy Money tab and the Fixed Expenses tab to play around with different options. What happens if you put more toward savings? What happens if you increase your debt payment? The spreadsheet will show you, and you are smart enough to figure out what the right balance looks like for your life right now. And that's what this tool is for. The next question, we're a couple. Does all the money have to be shared, or can we each have our own spending money? For this one, I would say figure out what works for you. We've actually tried it both ways. For a while, we each had our own line in the Fixed Expenses tab. It was personal spending money that was completely ours, no questions asked. These days, we just have one shared happy money amount with the understanding that sometimes you need to spend something on yourself, and that's okay. Neither approach is wrong. Whatever keeps you on the same page and makes the system feel fair to both of you is the right answer. What I will say is that budgeting as a couple only works if you're both honest with each other. Make sure both incomes are on the income tab. Make sure you both know what your happy money is. This system works really well for couples because you can see where your money is going. And that means you can have those difficult conversations about priorities right away. Next question, does the spreadsheet handle it when paychecks come in at different times? It does. And this is one of the things that makes it different from other budgets. It isn't just dividing your income into weeks and hoping for the best. It's actually forecasting every single day of the next 2 years based on exactly when your paychecks land and exactly when your bills are due. That's why the 3 checks on the Happy Money tab matters so much. When all 3 are green, the timing of all those different pieces has been figured out for you. And that means you'll have the money to pay each bill on time and you're going to be safe. You just track your happy money. Next question, how often do we sit down and redo all of this? Not very often. We look at ours about every 6 months, mostly just to make sure we're on track. Our bills are on auto pay, and during the week, we just stick to our happy money. If something big changes, like a new job, a new bill, or a raise, that's worth updating the spreadsheet for. Otherwise, you don't need to touch it. This is one of the things that is so different about this system. You're not sitting down at the beginning of every month to redo your budget. If you're tracking your spending each day, you'll already see anything that needs your attention. You used the spreadsheet to do the hard work one time. Now, you just live within that happy money amount. Next question. What do we do when we get a bonus, a big tax refund, or more money than we expected? Whatever you want. Pay off some debt, add to your emergency fund, take a trip. You get to decide. When you set up your income and guessed low and set up your expenses and guessed high, you were already making the responsible choices. The hard part of being a financially responsible adult was built into the process before you ever started spending your happy money. So anything that shows up above what you planned for is yours to decide what to do with. That covers most of the questions I get. And if you made it this far in the video, you're already doing much better than you think. This spreadsheet isn't going to change your income. It isn't going to make your bills disappear. But what it is going to do is show you the truth about your money. And once you can see it clearly, you can make better decisions about how to move forward. Now close this video and go fill in your real numbers while you're thinking about it. Your future self will be glad you did it today.